requirements. Okay, let's go over your description. Okay, there is your problem description. And with this domain model, you can start working on the use cases. So the basic use case you need to cover is totally 5 use cases you have to complete by Saturday. Okay. If you need a bonus point, we have 2 extra use cases, which you can do it in the weekend. If you have enough time, you can do it. Only 2 additional points. So each one has 1 point. The basic requirement is the first 5 use cases you have to present on Saturday morning. Okay. The remaining 2 use cases, you can work it on the weekend. I don't want to keep everything by Saturday. Okay. So let's go the first use case. Okay. You have to satisfy this requirement. That is your login screen. Let me, is it recording? Yes. Okay. The first use case is login use case. The first screen of the user of the system can see the login screen with requested ID and password. When the submit button is pressed, the ID need to look it into your data store. So you should have user data table, which has all the users you need to store it. If ID cannot be found, the password for this ID matches and the password is perfect, you have to show the authorization level. So we are going to work on this project with 3 levels of authorization. As we know that what the librarian can do, only checkout. So what an admin can do? Admin can do add, edit, delete library members, or I can add book to the collection. Also, he can add copy to the collection. Okay, so he can do add copy to the collection. So these privileges the library admin can do. So when you have a third type of users, I will upload this. Okay, don't take pictures. This notes I will upload. Okay, so also it is recorded. Okay, you don't need to capture a picture. Okay, so both means you have to show all privileges. Okay, so if the user is logged in as this level, you need to show everything. So this is our users. There are 3 users. So inside your login, you need to show these information. Okay. So let me run this code and show you if you want to get a clear idea. Okay. But I don't want to show you the solution. Okay. So let me run this code, but this is also not a complete code, just an idea. Okay. Here is your main screen. As I mentioned, the UI dashboard is up to you. The home screen, however you want, up to your creativity. You can go with whatever design you want. So here everything is disabled. Only the login and logout is enabled when you load the screen. So when I click on login and logout, we have different users. Okay. So this is already in your startup project with this. Okay. You can even still run this code with this. Okay. So if I want to log in as a librarian, so here is your user ID and password. So you want to log in as librarian with user ID, password is XYZ. So when you log in, you can show some message or you can open an alert dialog login successful. For example, if I give a wrong user ID, what it has to say already, sorry, something I have to log out. Okay, then if I put a wrong user ID and the wrong password, when you log in, it has to say ID not found or password not found. You have to do these validations. Okay, so when I log in with the correct user ID and password, both the librarian. So these are the 3 users. Okay, this authorization you can use at enum constants, librarian, admin, and both. So when I log in with one more one and XYZ, when you logged in, see here, there are so many options show you, but according to your use cases, what we need to show for the admin, you can able to show add library member, add book to the collection, add copy. So whatever according to your requirement. So it has search member. Okay, I did librarian, right? So librarian means checkout. So he can do the status of the book copy, checkout book, search member, but you don't need to show everything. What our requirement is checkout book. So when you show that option is enough, because otherwise why we have all member IDs and all book IDs is if you want to do searching, right, every time we need to look into the database. Instead of that, if you have everything in console for testing purpose easily, we can check it. So that's what all member IDs are shown here. Okay. These are all book IDs. Even admin also can see everything. Okay. So that's what we show you. You no need to show this. Okay. That's up to you, whatever you want. Okay. So now what he can do it is only the checkout. So you can show only the privilege. Okay. Let me go to the logout. Okay. So logout and I want to log in as an admin. Okay. So login admin 102 and ABC. Right. So when you log in, what I need to show? Add member and add book, add book copy. Only those privileges. Okay. So let me log out. And if I log in as a both credentials, 10311, when you log in, I can able to show everything. So that is your first use case. Okay. Okay. Read out this one. This is what you need to do. If you do this one use case is done. Okay. Read out this point. Let me know if you have a question. Okay. First use case is done. Okay, what are our next use cases? Add a new library member to the system. Now you know what else you have in the library member attributes, right? The necessary attributes, you can get it from the console and store it in your data access system. Okay, so when an administrator select the option to add a new library member, if he is presented with the fields, you should have member ID, first name, last name, street, city, state, zip, and telephone. Then get all these data and convert it into an address object and store it. So after the data entered and submitted, it should persist on your interface. Okay, so we are using a object serialization. So it will be on the file system we are using. It will store it on your file. Okay, let me show you this one, how to add a library member. Okay, so if I want to add a library member, so let's go with this one. I want to add a member. So when you click add a member, you have to do the validation. Okay, ID should not be duplicate. You have to specify unique ID. So some students will go for auto generator. Some students will give an ID and they will check its duplicate or not. Whatever you want, you can go with that. Okay, so I'm going to give an ID of 444 times 5 and give a first name, last name, and you can put a street address, second street. So when you while demonstrating, please go with the proper data. Okay, don't put XYZ something. Okay, while presenting, that will give you a good impression whenever you go for project or something, right? In real time, apply some useful data. Okay, the city, IA, okay, city, Iowa, and my state is also IA. You can do the validation. Zip code should be, and also you can do empty validation. The field won't be empty. Whatever validation according to the requirements, you can do it. Phone means 10 digit. So all those things you can do the validation. Okay. When I create a new member, you can give a confirmation. That is important. Successfully add. So this is your next use cases. So it will add into your database. Okay, that's the second use case. Any question on this use case? Read out this one. This is what you need to do. Add and you don't need to do delete update. Okay, that is not a requirement. If you want, you can do, but no extra credit for that. Okay, the basic things is at least if you do this 5, that's enough. Any questions here? The second use case. Okay, let's go to the third one. Add a book to the collection. So you should have add book that only done by administrator. So you should have add book. Whenever you add a book, you need ISBN. So ISBN also unique. It won't be duplicate. Okay. Then title. Your design must support multiple authors. Okay. So more than one author, you should add it. That way you need to design. And authors also have these credentials. So you should add all this information. Okay. So let's go to the add book. With the admin login, you can call add book. You should have ISBN, but it is not get address everything. Okay. But as per the requirements, you should get address and your design must support more than one author as per the UI model and the problem description. Okay. Give some ISBN. I'll give a 22-22. Okay. This is my ISBN number. Give your author first name, last name, and you have a separate window to add multiple authors. The whatever you want, you can go with it. Okay, so author 1, Tom, and the last name. Okay. Credentials. I ask you to go with Boolean. Okay, so you can put true or false, whatever you want. And the book title. Okay, then checkout length, 7 days or 12 days. Okay, so now the book should be added. Okay, the title, some confirmation you need to provide. Okay, this is what the use case of this one. Please read out these requirements. Let me know any question on this use case. The credential may be some description. Maybe if somebody purchase a book, author will get some credentials, some credit from the textbook or something like that. Okay, so I put Boolean if they have yes or no, true or false. Okay, you can keep it. Yes, yes, you can have add authors. You can have add button. That's your design, you decide. Okay, add multiple authors. One author means basic one is important, right? If you have more authors, you can have add author option. You can add multiple author. Okay. Okay. Any questions here? Okay, let's move on to the next use case. Check out a book for a library member. So, and also when I show you, it's not a complete implementation. Okay, a librarian can enter in the form of member ID and ISBN number. Okay, so I have some test member ID. How your UI will be like this. Okay. So let me go for checkout book. So when you click checkout, it has to get two inputs. One is member ID and ISBN. So member ID, I will go with 1005. If you want, you can check all the book IDs here, all the member IDs here for the testing book. That's what you can easily give this ID. Okay, so when I do the checkout book, I have to give the member ID and I'll go with the ISBN. This ISBN. Okay, so when you do checkout, we gave only the confirmation. Okay, but you have to satisfy these requirements. Okay, so you need to check ID is found. For example, if I give a wrong ID or wrong with this one, when you do checkout, it say ISBN is not available. When I give this ID, this student ID, when you do checkout, it say not found. So all these things you need to be careful when you going for the implementation part. So when everything is perfect and whenever you do the checkout, you have to check the copies available or not for the particular copy. Okay. So if the ID is not found, the system will display a message that the requested book is not found. If none of the copies are available, for example, I want to check out the ISBN. My ID is correct, ISBN is correct, but there is no book copy available. So in that scenario, give a message. The system will return a message indicating the item is not available. If both ID and book ID are found and the copy is available, now you have to create a checkout entry for the particular member. So in your checkout record with the entry of, so in that entry, you should maintain the copy of the book and checkout date and due date. So with that copy number, you can able to retrieve the book details because of bidirectional relationship. Then you can add this checkout entry into the particular library member. So it has to include the book details, book copy information, and your student member information. Everything should be included. So everything should persist on your database. So if the particular member can do multiple entries, so you can show it in a table view, how many checkout entries they have, but it should not be modifiable after checkout. So that's what you can show it as a table with the read-only data. Any questions on this part? Please read out this one. No, 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 no. It's only object serialization we are doing. I'll talk that part later, okay? I already told you are not there at the time.
About we check it out.
Yeah, that's one, another checkout. Okay, again, you can come for the checkout. Okay, otherwise you can have a table view or you can have some options to move for another checkout. You can design whatever you want. Okay, this is the flow. It indicates the flow, how to perform checkout.
single item, we can check out the list of items.
Multiple checkout entry you can do. That's what checkout record has, multiple checkout entries. Each checkout record associated with one library member. Okay, one library member has checkout record. That checkout record has multiple entries. That's the flow. Okay, any questions here? Yes, yes. In that entry, add more entries for the same checkout record. You can do 2 books or 3 books, whatever you want. You can enter everything. No. If you want to do 2 books means, okay, for example, look at that scenario of the member ID. Okay, 105. This is your member, right? Member ID. Okay, I want to do the checkout of 2 books. Okay, I want to do checkout. Okay, I have 2 books I would like to take. So what is your book ID is 2 books you want to do. So here is your checkout entry. Okay, checkout entry 1 with the same member, right? So you should have the member details. The member 111005 is going to check out the book copy 1. Okay, so you can retrieve all the book information, which is title and the copy number. Then you have a due date, right? Then what else you have here? So this book copy, then this is one entry. Okay, and also you can get the book details. Okay, so that's what the title, everything. Then if the chain, this is the checkout entry 1. Okay, the same students you can have. If they want to do another checkout, put another entry. Checkout. So what do you have? The same students, right? Okay, if they want to take the same book, what will happen? Copy number is different, right? He can do the same book out, but not the same copy because that copy is not available. You can go with another copy. Okay, like this. Make sense? Okay. Any questions here? Okay. The next thing is add copy of an existing book to the library collection. Okay, let's go over here. I want to add a book copy. Add book means new book. If I have already book, I want to add more books on the same collection, then it is called add book copy. So whenever you want to do add a book copy, that you decide. Some students will do 1 copy at a time, or you can get number of copies, then you can make an entries, each copies. Okay, so here the book number I'm going to give 1141, then add a copy. It will add only 1 copy. Every click, it will add one copy. That's up to you. You can have another field, number of copies, but when you create an instance book copy, how many the existing maximum number you have, that plus 1, because every time when you add a new copies, every book is associated with the book copy. The same implementation you did on midterm, right? So every book has associated with the unique number. Okay, so that's what add copy. That's up to you, either 1 copy at a time, or you can create multiple copies at the same time. That's up to you. So this is the last use case. Okay, so an administrator can look up the ISBN and add copy to the collection. So all this should be maintained. This is the basic use cases you all need to complete by Saturday. Okay, if you need some bonus point, if you have more time, you can work on the optional use cases in the weekend and you can show that to TA. Okay, after that, once you're done. Okay, let's go for the optional use cases. Okay, so the first use cases, given a library member ID and print to the console of checkout record of the library member. So for example, you can design a one window with the student ID. If the student ID is matched, you can print all those checkout entries. So already you do checkout, right? You are going to show it in a table view. Maybe you can show the same thing on the console. That's what this one. So the librarian can search a member ID and select an option to print. You have some print button over there. Once the ID is found, and if they have checkout, just click on the print button and print the details on the console, but what the checkout record has everything. So what else the checkout record has? Member information, book copy details, everything with the due date. Whatever they have in their checkout entries in the table form, one by one, it has to print it on the console. Instead of table view, you can have some print format and print it on the console. That is your first extra use cases. The second use cases to check the overdue, whether the given book of a publication is overdue. So what the requirement is, overdue means something on the library beyond the due date, right? So that's all comes under overdue. For example, my book is yesterday. I need to return. If I don't return today, it becomes overdue. That's what we are going to check. So your screen will be get the ISBN number. So for the particular book, the librarian is going to check that book copies are overdue or not. So you have to display in a table view that IS book number, title, and the copy numbers which are associated with the library member, which member is on overdue. You have to display all this information on your table, overdue table. These are the two extra use cases. Okay. So we did a class model. Okay, let's come for the UI interface design, discuss with your team. As I mentioned, there are different views. You can go with that. I mentioned in the schedule. Okay, so you can go with the button oriented dashboard or menu oriented, or you can use the split pan or your own view, whatever design ideas you want. You can go with that. Decide with your team today what kind of UI design you want to go. Okay, or either you can do hard code everything. Otherwise, you can use the window builder tool to drag and drop whatever you want. You can go with it. Okay. Now let's come to the data access. Are we going to use database? No, we are just simply using object serialization. Okay. Let me show you that example here, how to perform simple object serialization. Okay. Do I have object serialization here? Okay. I don't have here. Okay, let me download it from here and I'll show you how to perform object serialization. The same idea we are going to implement in your project too. Let me show you the demo. Go to your project. Sorry, resources. Project. Okay, so there is an object serialization example. Okay, so let me copy and paste this. Okay. Let me create a new package. The same name, you guys want to do it, use the same name to avoid any conflict. Okay. So the package name, use the same package name. Okay. I can copy these files. Okay, so we are using a file system. When you want to work with object serialization, here is my domain class, which implements serializable. That's it. Nothing complicated. Any class, if you want to do persistence, just that class must implement serialize. Okay, so that's it. Here is my user data, which has first name, last name, and email. I have a constructor and some getter and setters, override equals and toString. This is about your user class. So if I want to perform serialization, we use a file system. We store all the data in a file. So here is your file path. The current path, if you want to get, So here is your source directory is from here. So this source directory, my package name is object serialization. My data file is user.txt. So that's what inside this package, I have my data sub package, which has user.txt file. So the data will automatically persist in this text file when you implement a serializable interface. So now you have to remember the file working, how to work with files in your Java. Okay, so I want to store data in a file. So you have to open in file, output stream, your object. So pass your path. So this is my path. I created an object. Then I just directly created here. When you work on your project, it will be from the UI design, then converted into that object and store it. Okay. Then output object stream is equal to new output object stream. Pass your file output object. Okay. Then call write object to write the data in your file path what you specified. Then I can close it. Whenever you work with the file system, definitely it will throw checked exception. That's what we handle the file not found exceptions. Okay. Now I need to read the data from the file. So you have to open in a input stream mode and same file path. And I'm going to pass this file input stream in the object input stream. So your data is stored as an object. So from the read object of your file, then I want to convert it into respective type user. Then I want to print the details on the console. That's it. This is the simple file read and write. So all those structure is created in the startup code. I'll show you in the afternoon how it works. Okay. You no need to design any file structure. It's everything is there for you. Okay. So let me run this code. So it will read the data from the user.txt file. So which is serializable. So if I want to show different data, you can change it. Then it will automatically persist in your database. What happened? Okay, I deleted too many informations. Oh, again, I'm doing what happened. Okay. Something wrong. Even, okay. Okay, the same ID. Okay. Okay, let me change meaningfully. Okay. Let's run this code. So it will print this date. So whenever we do just serializable, that will take care of your system. You don't need to do any extra things. Okay, the file automatically serializable. So this is the simple example for doing serialization. So that example is in your here. So you can find out. So here is your startup code. You can download the startup code and initialize the setup. So during the lunch break before start the class, you guys can download Java Swing window builder. I put the screenshot step by step. So this afternoon, I think you guys can do this step. If you have any issue, maybe TA can assist with you. She can also install that on her laptop. Then whatever issues, I put the step by step information, how to install a window builder. Okay, so please follow the screenshot and just don't take more than few minutes. Okay, so you can install that one. You can refer all the resource files here. I will go over the remaining stuff this afternoon. Okay, that's what we just go for the data access system. So this you won't understand at this moment because these are all comes from the project startup code structure. I'll show you this afternoon how to work with this. So I'll tell you about the simple example how the serialization work. I'll put the notes here. So here are your resources. You want to look it out from the Sahai, the project startup code, which is there. Just import that project, download the startup code and import into your ID. Okay. The next resources, the menu design sample example, which is on your lesson 6 demo code package. So which I show you this morning when you go to the lecture. So this file is under your resources in your demo package. Okay, go to your demo code. When you download lesson 6, the compressed file, this file. Oh, I have to compress this file. Okay, let me compress this file. Okay, so if you download this file, this is an old file. Hide. Okay, this is the file. Once you download it, you will get all the lecture, whatever I have shown here. You can get everything. So inside this, there is a GUI, menus.gui. This is the eBazaar application. I put the reference if you want to know the complete implementation of eBazaar, which I show you this one. Okay. And the table, which is bookdemo.zip, which you can find it under your project folder. Okay. So you can go to the project folder. So this is what I would like to show you this afternoon through window build. Okay, bookdemo.zip and object serialization.zip. So these are all the minimum requirements. You need these resources to work on this project. Okay, so whatever afternoon schedule is, I would like to show you about window builder drag and drop, how to do, and I'll show you the J table with the CRUD operation, and I will explain you the startup code, which I'm going to give you. Okay, so let's go for meditation now.